Hello everyone, welcome to the yarn bowl. Today in this video I'm going to show you how to make this cute pink bunny called Mokke from the anime Tbhk. It's a very simple and easy pattern to work with, and especially when you work with blanket yarn. You can find the free written pattern of this Mokke bunny in my website theyarnbowlcrochet.com. Link for that is available in the description. If you have an Instagram account, please do follow me on my Instagram handle as well. I have given the link here, and you can tag your posts, and if you work on my pattern you can tag me there as well. I post fun reels and post updates on my Instagram, so do consider following me on my Instagram. Meanwhile, if you're new to this channel, please do not forget to subscribe to the Yarn Bowl and click on the bell icon as well so that you get notified whenever I post a new video. So I'm going to use a nice blanket or Chanel type yarn. It's called Cuddle from Big Twist. I'm using pink color for the bunny, and I'm going to use 5mm crochet hook, and I'm going to use tapestry needle for sewing in the bunny ears, and I will use this metal crochet hook to use the blunt tip to tuck in the odd ends of the yarn. We'll need safety eyes and stitch marker because we're going to work our bunny in spiral, so we need a stitch marker to identify our first stitch. So starting round 1, I'm going to make a magic ring, and then I will work 6 single crochets around the magic ring. So as I told you earlier, we don't end the round by working a slip stitch on top of the first stitch. Instead, we start our second round right away. So we'll identify our first stitch with a stitch marker, and then once you work 6 single crochets, you can tighten the magic ring and then start working your second round. So at the end of round 1 we should have 6 stitches. Now for the second round, we're gonna start working our second round right away. I'm gonna work 2 single crochets on each stitch around. So I don't work on the chain 1 that we started off when we worked the magic ring. So that's why I marked my first stitch with a stitch marker. And then go ahead, work 2 single crochets on each stitch around. So don't forget to mark your first stitch with the stitch marker whenever you start a new round, and work 2 single crochets on each stitch around. So once you finish your round 2, you can tighten the magic ring even more and secure it with a knot so that it doesn't come off. So at the end of round 2 we will have 12 single crochet stitches. Now for round 3, I am going to work 1 single crochet in one stitch and 2 single crochet on the next stitch around. So it's going to be an increment round again. So I'm going to work 1 single crochet in one stitch, mark your first stitch with the stitch marker, and then go ahead, work 2 single crochets on the next stitch. So we're going to repeat this pattern around. We're going to work 1 single crochet in one stitch and 2 single crochet on the next stitch around. So at the end of round 3 we will have 18 stitches. So round 4, so the next round is also going to be an increment round. We are going to work 1 single crochet in 2 stitches and 2 single crochet on the next stitch around. So work 1 single crochet each on 2 stitches and 2 single crochets on the next stitch around. Mark your first stitch with a stitch marker and start working 1 single crochet each on 2 stitches and 2 single crochet on the next stitch. We're going to repeat this pattern around. So at the end of round 4 we should have 24 stitches. So now we have 24 stitches at the end of round 4. So next for round 5 we are going to work only 1 single crochet on each stitch around, which means it's a non-increment round. We are not going to add any stitches to this round. So I work my first stitch and mark it with a stitch marker. Then I'll go ahead work 1 single crochet on each stitch around. So at the end of round 5 I'm still going to have 24 stitches. So I'm here at the end of round 5. Now for round 6 we are again going to increment. I'm going to work 1 single crochet each on 3 stitches. So that's my number 1, number 2 and number 3. So I have worked 1 single crochet each on my 3 stitches. Now I am marking my first stitch with a stitch marker, and on the 4th stitch I am going to work 2 single crochets on the same stitch, and we are going to repeat this pattern around. We will work 1 single crochet each on 3 stitches and 2 single crochet on the next stitch around. So at the end of round 6 we will have 30 stitches. So go ahead work round 6. I'll meet you at the end of round 6. Now for round 7 I'm going to work 1 single crochet each for 4 stitches and then 2 single crochets on the next stitch, and we are going to work this pattern around. So I mark my first stitch with a stitch marker, and then I will work 1 single crochet each for the 4 stitches, and then on the next stitch I will work 2 single crochet on the same stitch. So repeat this pattern of working 1 single crochet each for 4 stitches and 2 single crochets on the next stitch around. So now at the end of round 7 we should have 36 stitches. So go ahead, finish your round 7. I will meet you at the end of round 7. Now we are at the end of round 7. For the next 2 rounds, for round 8 and round 9, we are just going to work 1 single crochet on each stitch around, which means we are not going to increment any stitches. So we are just going to work 1 single crochet on each stitch around. So at the end of round 8 and round 9 we should still have 36 stitches. Now I have completed my round 8. I'm going to start my round 9, which is again working 1 single crochet on each stitch around. So don't forget to mark your first stitch with the stitch marker, and go ahead work 1 single crochet on each stitch around. So at the end of round 9 we should still have 36 stitches. So go ahead, work 1 single crochet on each stitch around. I'll meet you at the end of round 9. So we should have 36 stitches at the end of round 9. So now we're going to start our round 10. So this is going to be the base. So it's going to we're going to stuff it in that way. It will shape like the actual Mokke bunny. And now for round 10, I'm going to work 1 single crochet each on 2 stitches. So this is going to be a decrement round. So we're going to decrease the count of our stitches. So once we have worked 1 single crochet each on 2 stitches, we are going to work single crochet 2 together on next 2 stitches. So we'll work 1 single crochet each on 2 stitches and then work single crochet 2 together in next 2 stitches. So go ahead, work 1 single crochet each on 2 stitches and single crochet 2 together in next 2 stitches around. So this should bring down our stitch count to 27 stitches. So at the end of round 10 we should have 27 stitches. So now go ahead, complete this pattern around. So I'm here at last couple of stitches. I will work 1 single crochet each on 2 stitches and at the last 2 stitches I will work single crochet 2 together. So with this our round 10 is complete. So at the end of round 10 we will have 27 stitches. Now from round 11 to round 16 on, we are not going to decrement any more stitches. We are going to maintain the stitch count, which means we are going to work 1 single crochet on each stitch around. So this is my round 11. I'm going to start working 1 single crochet on each stitch around. So do not forget to mark your first stitch with a stitch marker and then proceed working 1 single crochet on each stitch around. So from round 11 to round 16 we are going to have 27 stitches at the end of each round. So go ahead, work 1 single crochet on each stitch around. So now I am at the end of round 11. So at the end of round 11 I have 27 stitches. Now I'm going to start working my round 12. So I'm going to still work 1 single crochet on each stitch around. So I'm marking my first stitch with a stitch marker. Then I'm going to proceed working 1 single crochet on each stitch around. So go ahead, work 1 single crochet on each stitch around until we reach the end of round 16. So for the 6 rounds we have worked non-increment rounds, which is gonna shape the body of the bunny. So with a couple of more rounds we're gonna finish working the body of the bunny. So for round 17 it's again going to be a decrement round. We're going to work 1 single crochet each on 1 stitch and single crochet 2 together on next 2 stitches around. So we'll work 1 single crochet each on 1 stitch and 2 single crochet single crochet 2 together in next 2 stitches around. So work 1 single crochet in 1 stitch and single crochet 2 together on next 2 stitches. So repeat this pattern around. So at the end of round 17 we should have brought down our stitch count to 18. So at the end of round 17 we should have 18 stitches. So now I am at the end of round 17. So you can see how our body has shaped up. We can shape it up even more while we are stuffing it. So now for round 18 and 19, which is again going to be a non-increment round, which means we are going to maintain the stitch count of 18 stitches, which means we are still going to work 1 single crochet on each stitch around. So go ahead, work 1 single crochet on each stitch around. That will be our round 18. Mark your first stitch with a stitch marker. So at the end of round 18 we'll have 18 stitches and we are going to repeat the same for round 19 as well. We are still gonna work 1 single crochet on each stitch around for round 19 as well. So now I'm at the end of round 18. So I'm gonna repeat the same thing for round 19. So I'm gonna work 1 single crochet on each stitch around. So at the end of round 18 and 19 we should have 18 stitches at the end of each round. So we have one more round to go to finish off the body. So before that, before working our last round, I'm going to attach the safety eyes and I'm going to stuff the body with polyfill. I'll stuff halfway through and then I will attach the safety eyes and then proceed stuffing more. So I'm going to start off from the last round we have worked, which is round 19. So I'm going to place my safety eyes on the 6th round from round 19. Place your safety eyes on equal spacings. So I have 4 stitches in between the safety eyes, and once you have placed your safety eyes, you can keep stuffing your body and shape it while you stuff your body of the bunny. So now we have stuffed the body of the bunny. I'm gonna work my last round, which will be my round 20. So round 20 is again going to be a decrement round. So we are going to work single crochet 2 together in every 2 stitches around. So be careful with the polyfill that we have stuffed. It's going to bother your stitches. Keep them away and keep working single crochet 2 together in every 2 stitches around. So at the end of round 20 we will have 9 stitches. So we still have a small opening on the top. Don't worry about that. We can sew it with the tapestry needle to close the opening. So keep working single crochet 2 together around, and so at the end of this round we'll have 9 stitches, and then you can attach a tapestry needle to this yarn and leave a long tail and cut the yarn and then work a slip stitch, and now attach a tapestry needle to it and you can close the opening that's there on the top. So I'm going to sew it around to close the small opening that we have, and then we'll start working on the bunny ears. So now we have worked the body. Now we're going to work the bunny ears, and then we are going to sew the bunny ears to the body once we are done with that. So now we are going to start working the bunny ears. We need to make 2 of it. I'm going to show you how to make 1. So using the same pattern, you're going to make 1 more of these ears. So for round 1, I'm going to work a magic ring chain 1, which does not count as a stitch, and then I'm going to work 5 single crochets on the magic ring. And once you have worked your 5 single crochets, tighten the magic ring. So as we have done for the body, we are going to work in a spiral. So always mark your first stitch with a stitch marker, because we'll be starting the next round right away without working a slip stitch at the end of each round. So I'm going to tighten my magic ring here and start working my second round. So for round 2, I'm going to work 2 single crochets on each stitch around. So and then mark your first stitch with the stitch marker and go ahead work 2 single crochets on each stitch around. So at the end of round 2 I will have 10 stitches. So go ahead work 2 single crochets on each stitch around. I'll meet you at the end of round 2. So now for round 3 I am going to work 1 single crochet in one stitch and 2 single crochets on each next stitch around. So work 1 single crochet in one stitch and mark it with the stitch marker, and then work 2 single crochet on the next stitch. So this is again an increment round. So we work 1 single crochet in one stitch and on the next stitch we work 2 single crochets. So we're going to repeat this pattern around. So at the end of round 3 we will have 15 stitches. So now from row 4 to 6 we are going to maintain the stitch count, which means we are not going to increment any stitches. So we are going to work 1 single crochet on each stitch around from round 4 to round 6. So go ahead work 1 single crochet on each stitch around for round 4. So at the end of round 4 we will have 15 stitches. So now I have completed my round 4. For round 5 again I am going to work 1 single crochet on each stitch around, and still I am going to have 15 stitches at the end of round 5. Go ahead work round 6 also with the same pattern of working 1 single crochet on each stitch around. I'll meet you at the end of round 6. So now I am at the end of round 6. So we have 15 stitches at the end of round 6. For round 7 we are going to decrement the stitch count. We are going to work 1 single crochet each for 3 stitches and single crochet 2 together on next 2 stitches. So we're going to repeat this pattern around. We'll work 1 single crochet each on 3 stitches and single crochet 2 together in next 2 stitches around. So at the end of round 7 we will have 12 stitches. So work 1 single crochet each on 3 stitches and single crochet 2 together on next 2 stitches around. Now for the next 3 rounds, which is from round 8 to round 10, we are going to maintain the stitch count. We are not going to increment or decrement any stitches. We are going to work 1 single crochet on each stitch around. So this is my round 8. So I am starting off working 1 single crochet on each stitch around. So mark your first stitch with the stitch marker and proceed working 1 single crochet on each stitch around. So I'm going to start working my round 9, which will again be working 1 single crochet on each stitch around. And once round 9 is complete, we'll proceed with round 10, which will again be working 1 single crochet on top of each stitch around. So at the end of round 8, 9 and 10, we will have 12 stitches at the end of each stitch, each round. 12 stitches at the end of each round for round 8, 9 and 10. Now I am at the end of round 10. We'll start with round 11. For round 11, we are going to decrement again. We are going to work 1 single crochet each for 4 stitches and single crochet 2 together on next 2 stitches around. So we work 1 single crochet each for 4 stitches and single crochet 2 together on next 2 stitches around. So this should bring down our stitch count to 10 stitches. So at the end of round 11 we will have 10 stitches. So go ahead work 1 single crochet each for 4 stitches and single crochet 2 together on next 2 stitches. Now we are at the end of round 11. For round 12 we are not going to decrement. We are going to work 1 single crochet on each stitch around. So we should have 10 stitches at the end of round 12. So now we are going to work our round 13, which will again be a decrement round. We are going to work 1 single crochet each for 3 stitches. I'll mark my first stitch with a stitch marker and then work single crochet 2 together on next 2 stitches. So I'm going to work single crochet 2 together on next 2 stitches. So I'm going to repeat this pattern around. I'm going to work 1 single crochet each for 3 stitches and single crochet 2 together in next 2 stitches. So this is going to bring down my stitch count to 8 stitches. So at the end of round 13 I'll have 8 stitches. So I'm going to start working my last 2 rounds, which will be round 14 and 15. So we are going to work only 1 single crochet on top of each stitch around for round 14 and 15. So we are going to have 8 stitches at the end of each round. So I'm going to work my round 14 here. I'm working 1 single crochet on top of each stitch around. So I'll have 8 stitch at the end of round 14 and then I will proceed with round 15. I'm going to end my round 14 here and start working my round for 15, which will again be working 1 single crochet on each stitch around. So at the end of round 14 I'll have 8 stitches and then at the end of round 15 also I'll have 8 stitches. So with this we'll finish the bunny ear, one of our bunny ear, and work a slip stitch, and you can fasten off leaving a long tail. Don't sew this yet, we can sew it while we are attaching the ears to the bunny. So this is how I'm going to attach the ears to the bunny. It's so soft, it's so fluffy. This is one of the bunny that I made earlier before working this video. And how cute and fluffy it looks. It was my daughter's idea to make this. She's an anime fan and she wanted me to make this bunny. So now I'm going to attach these ears to the body using a tapestry needle. Follow the video along. I'm going to show you how to sew this ears to the bunny. Since we have worked with blanket yarn, these ears are going to stay nice and it's not going to flop or fall down. It's going to stay straight, and it's going to also look like a pea bunny, which you can work for Easter. It's a Easter season, so people love making bunnies during this time. And if you are an anime fan, you like Mokke bunny, you can make this as a gift for someone as well. So once you have sewed in all your parts, you can use a blunt tip of metal crochet hook to tuck in the odd ends inside the body. So I have tucked in all the odd ends inside the bunny. Here is my cute Mokke bunny. And if you can gift this for anime lovers, they're gonna love it. And it's such a quick and easy pattern, and this pattern works up very quick. So I think with one big ball of yarn, you can make 3 of these bunnies. So try this pattern at home and let me know your comments. If you want a free written pattern of this bunny, it's available in my website, theyarnbowlcrochet.com. Link for that is available in the description. So if you work this bunny, do post or tag me on my Instagram. I would love to see your work. And please do not forget to subscribe to the Yarn Bowl and click on the bell icon as well. Thanks for watching. Bye.